fastest and the best. I pull the express. Yep, that's right, guys. Here we are, my next review. Number 4 himself, Gordon the Big Engine. Yep. Alright, guys. Mickey here, and now I am going to get to my Gordon review right now. And of course, I just know I've made, a lot of, silly flaws when I reviewed the model 3 years ago on Christmas, because that's when I got him, and I really should have been a little more careful, but anyways, aside from that, let's just get restarted. It's a good thing I'm redoing these reviews, alright? So, oh, yes, I forgot, the character opinion on Gordon. I know I said it, 3 years ago, but don't worry, I won't mind saying it again. Now, honestly, when I was a child, for those of you who may not have believed it, I used to really not like Gordon. Yeah, it's actually true. The only reason I didn't, it was really because of his personality, of how he was this real jerk who really thought, that he was better than everybody and always tried to discourage the small, weaker old engines like Edward, Thomas, Percy. Yeah, and we can understand he likes them, well, at sometimes, but yeah, he can be annoying at times, but now to this day, I do like him. When I was 14, I started to get into him, and now he's one of my favorite characters. I do enjoy him. That the fact that he's the big blue guy, and of course is always pulling the heavy express and stuff, and despite the fact that he can be a jerk at times, he can, of course, be a good-hearted, a fatherly kind of personality. Well, he's always willing to help, the small engines, out of trouble and stuff. And, of course, that's what I like about Gordon. That, of course, what we can learn from him, that you can't always think that you're better than everybody, and that, you always got to do what you have to in life, of course, because Gordon can be a bit immature at times. Like, one time he was too stubborn to, take a load of trucks or cars. Yeah. And then he ended up crash landing into a ditch because he wanted to jam the turntable, but he crash landed into the ditch by mistake. Of course, he did learn his lesson later on along with Thomas, after he ended up pulling the queen, yeah. Alright, so enough of the personality. Now we'll get to the model. Alright. And of course, since this is a tender engine, you know what that means. Yep. The tender. Alright. Let's get to the nitpicks. One is that the stripes can scratch off, and yeah, this stripe did scratch off, and it was a real pain in the ass, literally, so I gotta be really careful not to get way too many scratches on, Gordon or any of my other engines because of their stripes. Why couldn't Bachmann just use a stronger paint or anything like that? Another negative, of course, is that, as usual, just like I said with Henry in the review, that, of course, the bins on his wheels were gray, and so were his brake pipe and his coupling hook. And, yeah, and that does annoy me, and of course the fact that both Henry and Gordon were both made in the same year, 2005, and why a gray, brake pipe and gray lamp irons? Thomas, Percy, and James didn't have those, but they had flaws. And of course, ever since Emily and Spencer and even Edward all came out together, it seems like they improved. But couldn't they just at least, try and improve on them? Oh well, that's the way it's gonna be from now on. And I know that Ari and Bert, just to say, I know I'm getting off topic. I know Ari and Bert would later on, have CGI faces, but I don't care, I'll still be getting them anyway. Anyways, enough of that. Yeah, so those were the nitpicks I got. But here are the good things. The rest of it, just like with Henry, the buffer beam on Gordon's tender looks amazing. I like the way it's molded, and I even like the way Gordon's buffers are molded. They're just right, this right oval shape. And I know in the Railway Series books they were rectangles, but I like these versions better, the oval-shaped ones. And they even painted this, area black. I don't mind it at all, I know. This is, of course, where the filler cap is, and how they got that mold with Henry, but Henry's tender was different, as you already know. And of course, we even got the door and the step ladder on Gordon, and they are molded on nicely too. And even though I don't like the scratchable paint, the stripes, and of course, Gordon's very famous, of course, his trademark, his famous number 4. Yeah, they're nicely done. And again, I like the way the numbers are painted on these engines, and especially the number 4 on Gordon. And again, the colo looks nice from a distance and stuff. And then we got, of course, you know, the cockpit in his tender cab where... excuse me. You know, this area here, which you could fit for a driver or fireman, and this same, you know, mold right over here, just so that the driver or fireman could, you know, shovel a coal and stuff. Alright, so that's Gordon. Alright, now that I'm done with Gordon's tender, now we get to the actual locomotive itself. Of course, as you all know, he's based off of an LNER, like, A1 or A0 or A3, was it? I don't know. Like, I keep, you know, seeing on, like, the Thomas Wiki what he's based off of, and, of course, this is the same prototype the Flying Scotsman's based off of as well, especially for the fact that he and Gordon are both brothers anyway. And now, of course, I did make, you know, some complaints about, you know, the way his cab is made, like these, you know, molds here, and, you know, this whistle being taller than it. Seems like I really haven't been doing my research, haven't I? Nope. Yeah, sorry guys, so, this is an improvement now. Alright, so, I mean, the way the cab is detailed is nice, but the only problem here, and I like the turning radius on the back wheel, but the only problem is just, it's a little too tiny, and this wasn't even the way Gordon's, you know, wheel was in the show. Oh well. And, like the cab, I mean, unlike Henry's cab, well, half and half with Henry's cab, let's just say, like, it's got the same, you know, edge, you know, like, molded area, but except the firebox panel, you know, unlike Henry's, is now painted black, just for Gordon, and I'm glad they did that. Why couldn't they do it for Henry? I have no idea. And we even got the cab, the 2 windows right over here. And of course, I even like the way, you know, his LNER, like, Flying Scotsman shape is. And then we got his rectangular portholes, and his safety valves, and his whistle are molded on nicely, and they're... Oh yeah, the whistle, the safety valve, the steam dome, and his funnel are all separately fitted items. And the way they are molded on nicely are good. I'll just get to the steam dome first. Like, I like the way it's been molded, especially, it looks, in my opinion, also, well, it would always look the same. You know, just, if you want to do, like, a special, like, reenactment of Gordon and the Famous Visitor, you know, where, like, the wind starts to blow his dome right off when it starts getting loose, yeah. But, of course, you can't really pop it off or anything. And we got other things on Gordon. We got, of course, the stripes, and his handrails are molded on, along with his paintwork and stuff. I mean, with the body molds, except they're painted differently. The wheel arches are nice, and unlike Henry's, they aren't scratched or anything. And, of course, his funnel looks nice as well. Alright. Just get in the way you can see it. Alright, yeah, I think you can see it. The funnel is molded on nicely. It's the right size, just like Henry's. So are these, like, cylinder pipes right on the side, which are connected to his cylinders right over here. However, just like the tender, they're a little scratched, though. Before we get to that, just like, you know, Henry, because they're both made in 2005, that the side rods are really, really thick. And the only fix to this when Spencer came out, I don't know why they couldn't do that, and I hope if, you know, Bachmann makes Murdoch, that he would look really awesome with thin side rods. Yeah, I actually think Bachmann should make a Murdoch, even though Hornby's one is good. However, there's just one problem with my Gordon. On, like, this side rod here is a little loose. Don't worry, it won't pop off or anything, but it's a real pain in the ass, you know, the way it is. And unlike, oh, excuse me. Oh, I don't know if you can see properly. I had to yawn. Yeah, these are scratched, and that's a real pain in the ass. Oh boy. Yeah, it's just due to the wheels, you know, like his leading wheels, like, due to his leading wheels, you know, getting in the way, they do tend to scratch it. So, yeah, there wasn't anything I could do anyway. Now, with my Gordon, oh yeah, just other things. Or of course, we even got, you know, the lamp irons and the brake pipe, and they're great. But however, I managed to, you know, get the lamp irons to be partially gray. Yeah, it's mostly due to the fact that I used a paper towel, you know, to go right through it, and then I used like a permanent black marker instead of black paint. Yeah, the only resources I have now. Don't worry, I can assure you it will happen soon. You just gotta be patient, okay? Alright, I didn't mean to be rude there, but still. The leading wheels are nice, and again, the turning radius is good. And I know I forgot to mention this with Henry, but I did with Edward. And then, of course, we got the last detail for Gordon. Of course, for a big, grand engine who can be arrogant and vain at times, but good-hearted, that oh-so-grand and very good-hearted face. Or proud, whatever. You know, I am the fastest and the best. I pull the express, and I definitely like, you know, that the face. I mean, this is the exact face, of course, Gordon is supposed to have in the show. Definitely. And then we got these black areas here. You know, these areas. Right over here. I don't even know what these are called, though. But oh well. So, yeah. That's Gordon, and he looks nice so far. But before we rate him, we obviously got to get to the strength and speed test, and it's a good thing I got my tripod with me. Alright, guys. Here I am, and yeah, something else I just remembered now, that these strength and speed tests are now going to be done just in the inner loop. Yeah, the outer loop is a real pain in the ass, just, you know, they struggle on the hill, and some of the engines derail on that bridge. I gotta do something about that, I just know. And guys, don't comment me, I know, alright? Anyways, let's just get this thing over with, okay? Alright, and unlike the last time, at least I don't have to worry about the derailing coaches from 3 years ago. Alright. One more run. Alright, 12 minutes. Good. Okay, there we go. I'll just stop it there. So let me take this. Okay, so, yeah. Maybe I should have done it the other way. Oh, whatever. That's Gordon for you. And just like Henry, I will be giving him a 9.5 out of 10. You know, a 9.5. Alright, you know what? I'm not gonna, like, treat you guys like you're uneducated. You guys know, so. Alright, yeah. 9.5 out of 10 for Gordon, just like I did with Henry. I mean, the only thing getting in the way are the scratchable stripes. Well, you know what? That's pretty much gonna be for every model. Oh, well, I'm gonna have to deal with it. Alright, so the only nitpicks I seem to have now are just, you know, the gray hooks and lamp irons and pipes and the really thick side rods. And, of course, the Fat Gordon's, you know, back, you know, trailer wheel, I think that's what it's called, yeah, the trailer wheel is, you know, really tiny, and I remember, you know, in the show that it was a little bit bigger than that. Alright, so yes, Gordon gets a 9.5 out of 10. End of story. Bye-bye. Alright, so see you guys later. And, of course, the next, it's obviously James. So, I'll see you guys later. Bye.